Well, that's how it's going to look. $6 in washers, and it's mounted. There's actually 1 inch, I don't know, like I don't know what you would call it, 1 inch piece of pipe that's threaded that this goes into, so it's not just that bolt holding it on, it's a 1 inch piece of steel, round stock. So I got another $6 into it. It was $8.50 to replace that bearing, and $6 in washers. But other than that, I'm not doing too bad. So that's about how it's going to look. I'm not done by any means, but pretty badass. Thing is going to be a monster, assuming I can get that front auger to spin properly. One thing I'm worried about is this right here. Because this might be a little higher where the drive belt comes out, if it raises up, if the drive belt comes out and comes over this, if it raises up and gets caught on that lip, it's going to shred that belt in about 3 seconds. So just gonna have to be careful. So now I'm going to, I think, take it off, and that's about it. Well, it's Sunday, October 21st, and I had a couple hours before work, so I mounted the belt on here. I think I have everything hooked up right. My mount here, got the spring on. Everything looks like it's lining up in there. I've got a really straight shot between pulleys, which is good. So, electric clutch, everything looks good there. Just for my own personal reference, the belt size I use, I think, was a BR87. It's actually a 90-inch belt on the outside diameter, so probably 87 on the inside. So that seemed to work all right. I don't see any horrible angles. It's almost exactly the same as the Snowcaster would fit on. So I think I've got this chain, the chain tensioner right here. I couldn't, even with a pry bar, I couldn't get it back to where it was. I could tell by the old marks on the steel. It's close, but I hope that's tight enough. I think everything's mounted, and I'm a little nervous. Make sure there's nothing in front of here. This could either go horribly great or horribly wrong. So, joke. Throttles down a little bit. One last look. I think I'll start it out at low RPMs in case that belt snaps right away or something else gives. Here we go. Holy. I tell you what, when I walked in front of the chute, so much just air was coming out of there that I honestly could blow dry my hair. That thing is a freaking monster. Damn. I have to look for belt shavings or anything like that in case it's rubbing anywhere it's not supposed to be, but goddamn, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. That seemed like it worked really well. So, a little bit of work, and it was a risk ruining the subframe and a snowcaster body for parts, but it's gonna work out. All I have to do now is, and I cut them off, and I don't know where. Oh, here's one of them right here. I cut the old arms off. Oh great, got two dogs in the backyard. Shelby, come on, Shelby, Shelby. Kathy chases dogs. I've got the two lift arms. I'm going to have to add steel to them to lengthen them out, and I'll have to take some measurements. I figure they're going to mount right about here, and I think if I have enough space on the lift arm, I'll mount them on the outside. Right here. So right about there. So maybe I can do that tomorrow. The things I don't know, you know, under a heavy load, is that belt tight enough? I can always add another spring to the tension arm. I've got plenty of play in it to make it go tighter. So, you know, maybe, you know, if it slips a little bit or something in the real heavy snow or whatever, but I think we're going to be all right. So, well, I got to go in and shower for work, and I'm very, very happy about that. Well, I'm getting a mock-up of where the lifting assembly is going to go, the lift arms and everything. So I had to extend out, I guess maybe you call this the lift arm. You can see that's not the best weld and grind job in the world, but gets it done. I had to extend that out, you know, yay far, 4 inches or so, and I had to add some flat stock to the lift arms off the snowblower because they weren't long enough, and I got to trim some off. No, I made them too long. That's about how it should look. So I will cut those shorter and weld those up. I didn't want to get too crazy. I'm hoping the way I have it figured out, it should only raise up about, oh, I don't know, you know, 4 inches or so. Because you start getting any more, and that belt angle is going to start to get, you know, you're tilting the whole thing up with the belt. And hopefully that idler arm, the way I have it set, will kind of compensate for that, but it's only got so much play in it, so you don't want to get too crazy with it. So we'll see if that works. Well, I got everything mounted and back together, so the lift arms look good, and I touched it up with a little bit of primer and spray paint, you know, rattle can stuff, just to kind of keep it from rusting for this year. Maybe I hopefully can paint it orange to match the tractor, and maybe put some case stickers on it. So there it is. It seems to be working. It goes up and down. Now I don't have any snow, but I do have some leaves. So I was going to see if I could set the camera up and maybe blow these leaves to see how well it would work. The one thing I do have to do, the skid shoes on the side, they have to be, they're going to have to be, I'm going to have to elevate them up, so lower those to give it more clearance for the driveway so it doesn't pick up gravel. So, other than that, see if we can't blow some leaves.
not sure how well that worked.
Well, a couple of things. One is that snowblower, I don't know what it weighs, but it's heavy and it really affects the steering. The steering is quite a bit stiffer than before. I'll squirt some more grease in the zerks and stuff, but I think that's just the way it's going to be. And two, these tires are junk. These are the absolute worst tires ever. What I need is something with really deep ridges, either like 3 or 5 really deep ridges to ribs, I should say, to catch me some traction. So, and I'm definitely, this thing is so heavy in the front now, I'm definitely going to need weight in the rear. So, I'll put the wheel weights and the chains on. But if you look at this is why I shouldn't look at Craigslist right here. This thing is a monster. The guy was advertising, he had a 5-foot back blade for sale. Let me step back so you can get that all the way in here. He had a 5-foot back blade for sale. And then when I showed up, he says, oh, my bad, it's a 7-foot back blade, category 1. So it's way too big for that case tractor the way it is. So I figure if I knock a foot of steel off each side, get it down to 5 feet, build new, it's a category 0 3-point on there now. So I would have to build new lift arms category 1. Now the category 0 is rated for, I think they're rated for 750 pounds. And this weighs like 250, so I think we're good on the weight. Plus I'll be knocking, 50 pounds of steel off it anyway. And if I build brand new category 1 lift arms and I switch the pins so they mount on the inside, switch those around so I can mount the arms on the inside, I should have enough clearance, and technically I should be able to use this. So that'll be enough weight. Whether I get that done this year, I don't know. So my priority was the snowblower before it snowed, so we'll see. So here's the old snowcaster. I used the mule drive, those lift arms, and that's going to have to be moved out because that's my backup. So I'll have to move that to some place where it's accessible in winter. So other than that, this is kind of the hidden case graveyard. So I need to strip all the parts off of this and then throw most of it away. So that's about it. But as I say, this thing is a monster, fully reversible. So we'll see. As I say, I'll build some category 1 lift arms for the case. I can't buy them because most category 1 lift arms are like 30 inches long, and that would be way too long. So I'm gonna have to build some custom ones. So, which shouldn't be too hard, you wouldn't think. So, but there is probably a few goofy angles. But all right. As for that, the snowblower is done for the year. Maybe next year make some modifications to it. The one thing I do have to do, the linkage in the arm that controls the chute. I have to figure out where to put it. Technically, right now, I can run it right through here, right to there, and it actually works. And I don't use the brake anyway, but we'll see. I'll have to make something temporary because ideally I would like to make electric chute controls for this. And if you look on YouTube, lots of people have done it. So I'm pretty sure I can probably figure something out, maybe with an old drill or the power window motors that I have. So as I say, the shoes I'm going to have to raise up, and I should weld some more steel on them right now. This one's bent. So, and this one, that one's fairly good shape. They're actually in pretty good shape. But I might want to reinforce those with another 1/4 inch piece of flat stock. But who knows? But anyway, there she is, and she's a beast.